What is up, guys, and welcome back to Electrix Moto. Today we have the brand new 2025.5 or 2026, I don't really know what you want to call it, E-Ride 2.0 in front of us. This thing has got an overhaul and it's much better in my opinion than it was previously. So today we're gonna talk about some of the changes that E-Ride made to make this bike better. We're gonna talk about this customer build that we've done. We got a couple of new things on here that I think are cool for people to see. And then we'll get you guys on your way as soon as possible. But first, let's talk about this build, what we have on it and why we did what we did. All right, so I know at this point you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me say the same thing about the builds that we do and why we do them, so I'll make this very brief. The reason I want to talk about this again is because this is a 14-year-old customer who did not need some of the things that we usually put on. Most notably is the drop brackets. So we always put the Warp 9 drop brackets on, but if you're a smaller rider already and you have a little bit of trouble touching the ground, there's really no need to put the drop brackets on unless you plan to hit a growth spurt, which nobody really knows when that's gonna happen. But on this customer's build, we did not put the drop brackets on there and we did not put a gut seat cover. That's okay. You know, everybody has a little bit different taste there and what they like, and that's fine with us. We did do the Warp 9 bars, bar mount, and stem lock as we always do. I think that's changing your cockpit area starts first with those items. So that is something we did for this customer. But the cool part about this build that we haven't done on another one yet is the ASV levers for the E-Ride 2.0. So the ASV levers that we put on here work for the 2.0, the S, and the Mini. I don't know of a better lever that you could buy for your e-moto other than ASV, and one of the reasons is one of the things that we fix a lot on people's bikes is handlebars, because they get scuffed up when they fall. So we try to put a tusk bar end in here. We did not put that on this bike, but the levers. Levers fall, they break, they scratch, but with these levers, they actually completely bend. They don't go up and down, which would be really cool if they did, but they bend all the way out. So when you fall and you hit the ground, that lever bends, you don't need to replace your levers all the time. That is a big deal for anybody who intends to ride their bike hard. You're definitely gonna wreck it, you're definitely gonna lay it on its side, and not having to replace your levers every single time you do that is a plus. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about what's new for the 2025.5 or 2026 E-Ride Pro 2.0. And the biggest change that E-Ride made that I am so happy that they made was putting new tires, both rear and front, on this bike. These are the same exact tires that you're gonna see on your E-Ride 3.0. And although now I believe that the E-Ride 3.0 is probably going to sell much less now that the E-Ride 2.0 comes with the same exact tires, because one of the things we get a lot is people come in, they want to ride street, they like to ride a little bit of trail, but they're not really aggressive hardcore trail riders. So there's no need for an aggressive mud knobby style tire. They want the 3.0 tires, but they don't want to pay the 3.0 price, which is totally understandable. But beyond just the tires, they did something that I am so thankful for, and this is going to change this bike setup forever. It is an 18 and a 19-inch front, 18-inch rear, 19-inch front. It's the same exact wheel, but the hub spacing is different on the 3.0 than it is on the 2.0. So what I thought right when I saw this was I was going to be able to use 2.0 wheels on 3.0 bikes. You cannot do that. The hub is much different on the 2.0 than it is on the 3.0, although at a glance, they do look like the same exact wheel. So the second big upgrade that E-Ride decided to do for the 2025.5 or 2026 E-Ride 2.0 is they decided that it was going to only be appropriate that they put on fast ace forks and a fast ace shock. now with the Fast Ace forks and the Fast Ace shock, I can't say for certain, but by looking at them, and I've only had my hands on this bike for about 25 minutes, they look just like the 3.0. So they could be the same exact forks and shocks. I wouldn't imagine that they are, only because the price of this bike only decreased by 300 bucks, but that's a big part of this too. E-Ride has decided now to bring the prices of all their bikes back down, not to pre-tariff levels, but less expensive than they were before you were seeing this video. So the new price for the E-Ride 2.0 went from $50.99 down to $48.99. Now, that's only a couple $100 bucks, but a couple $100 bucks makes a big deal to everybody, and it makes this bike a little bit more in range. And with the suspension upgrades that you get, you're gonna be able to get a lot more bike for less money. So it's not just decreasing the prices, it's actually providing better components and giving you and me and all of us a better bike right out of the box. The Fast Ace fork seals are some of the best fork seals that I've had to deal with on any of the factory or stock components that come on any of the E-Motos. I just feel that this Fast Ace setup is what all their products are doing, and it's for really good reason, because we know that these forks can take a beating. On my 3.0, I take it to jump tracks. I do all the stuff on my 3.0, but I'm seriously considering now that this may be enough bike for the style of riding that I like to do on small bikes. So making it less expensive, more affordable, adding upgraded components, a lot of good stuff is happening. And I don't know if that's because they saw their sales slump a bit or what it was when the prices got increased. I'm sure everybody's did slightly, but as a customer and as an enthusiast of this industry, like, I'm really excited that this bike is going to be more affordable, but not just more affordable. The things that you're getting on this bike just make the bike better all the way around, and that is a win for everybody. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's talk about the big thing that they didn't change. That is just the worst thing that could have ever happened, and it drives me nuts that it's still taking place. You still get the same exact brakes as the S and the Mini. It's the mineral oil mountain bike style brakes. I understand that there had to be some concessions made, but I just can't get over how somebody or anybody is going to put a mineral oil brake on a machine that goes 60 miles an hour. It doesn't make sense. It's not really a good idea. I would definitely switch to formula if you have the opportunity to do so. I know those are really hard to get, but we are going to be building a shop 2.0, and we're going to put formula brakes on it and do the whole thing that we normally do. But for now, if you're buying this bike and you're hoping for better brakes, you're not going to get it. You did get a lot of other stuff that's really good, and it's a better value for everybody. You're going to save money and get one of the best bikes that it's probably one of the best bikes that's ever been built, is a 2.0. I know there's a lot of speculation about that, and I know a lot of people disagree with my opinion. I'm just telling you from my perspective, after riding them, beating them up, and seeing the type of abuse that they can take, this bike holds up well, and now it has better components, so it's probably just going to be a better machine all the way around. Now, if you guys have any questions or concerns or comments, leave those down below in the description or in the comments section. I try to get to them every single morning. I have a customer coming to get this bike, so I had to hurry up and get this video done so I could give you all the updates for the new 2.0. We have them available on our site. Links will be in the description, and I'll see you guys on the next one.